So our coaches on duty tonight. Luke Beveridge is with us here in the studio. Luke, it's great to see you. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Gerard.
Adam Mouze, terrific. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
You had Dusty in the rooms yesterday.
Yeah, he was. He poked his head in. He's actually he's been down to the club. He snuck in a couple of weeks ago and met all the young boys. And I know Sammy Lawler was in awe when he walked into our building. But yeah, it was good to see him at the game yesterday. And yeah, he's a good friend of Camden McIntosh, so he was there to celebrate his 200s, which was nice.
Does he have the right level of aura with the young players?
Yeah, he does. He can walk around anywhere. He's more than welcome to come up in the coach's box if he wants to. So smart man.
Did you like what you saw on review?
Yeah, you do get a bit fussy. I mean, I think, as I said in the lead up to the game, we hadn't won many first quarters this year, so it was an emphatic start for us. And then you just, you make sure in this competition that you, especially after what happened to us in Norwood against the Lions, where we had a pretty handy lead and they stormed back and got us in the end. So that's always in the back of your mind.
When you look at, I'm just looking through some of these names, you'll be truthful and honest with us. O'Donnell, Vandermeer, Fraser, Karmas, Davidson and West, the ones I've got written down. A few of those have got opportunity because of the injuries, I would imagine. But did you think they could get to where they've got to? Like, I'm watching Davidson run around at the moment and he looks like he's played 60, 70, 80 games.
Yeah, he does look quite composed, doesn't he, at the level for a young fella who's only just played his ninth game. And I think when you've got those core attributes, you can run. He's got healthy genetics. He's got really quite brilliant speed and endurance, and he's improving in the contest. So I think once you've got that platform to work from, and he's not young like the 18, 19-year-olds. He's 22, turning 23, I think. And the other boys, I mean, even so, if you look at Tim English, like Tim has played the game at the level for a while, but he's still evolving. He's probably now getting to that point in his moving into his late 20s where he's more equipped to compete at the stoppage than he was. Yeah. In the years before. He's been a pretty anti-turnover game ruckman, but now he's adding little increments. So in all those other boys, yeah, you're hoping that they improve, they develop, and I think they've done a great job with our coaches and our high performance and medical crew to prepare, and now we're seeing them play really important roles in the team.
So I went back to our interview this time last year. It's one round difference. And you spoke around evolution and change. And your closing phrase was, there's change afoot. It was brave at the time to search for the next iteration, as you called it, of the Western Bulldogs, and you hoped it would be something formidable. Have you got the next iteration of the Bulldogs before you right now?
I just love the fact you've reflected that far, Gerard. I mean, no, I do. I mean, I think all of us, don't we, as coaches, as far as the analysis and the opinions go, there's quite flippant, real-time sort of takes on the game and clubs and players and coaches and you haven't put me up to this, but I haven't put you up to that, and I love that because at the time, and this is part of our journey, is we're always strategising and thinking, is this the group that's going to challenge for the next premiership, or are they going to take us to the top? And there are points in time where you don't tell the players that you question that because you're always instilling belief, but we have to evolve, and we have to evolve quickly because of the constraints in the game around draft and acquisition and what you can do and what you can't do. And so you've got to recognise the fact that you need to provide opportunity for others to search for whether or not you're going to be able to get there. And so, pleasantly, not surprised, but the take on it at the moment is that there are boys emerging that are helping us grow. So you make that, I reckon it's a brave call at the time. Do you recognise the risk in doing it? But this is just what has to be done if we're going to be the next version. Well, you understand the risk and the public perception of it because it's a week-to-week proposition as to whether or not you're scaling up or scaling down. But ultimately, the senior coach, more than anyone, is a servant of the football club, and you need to make sure that, especially with a club like ours, is searching for sustained success. it's not that we can't afford to bottom out, but we've got to make sure that if we're, for a period of time, if we're going to be semi-mediocre, we can't be any lower than the middle rungs to then propel ourselves up into the top level again. And so I think we've done that reasonably well, but we're still not out of the woods. We've still got a fair bit of work to do.
So through that period of reflection and working out where you're at and where your club's at, which we've been really supportive, it's become apparent and clear to everyone that your fit is still perfect for them, and what's come along is this next playing group which hopefully can take you where you need to be. So the next question is, how long do you leave it unresolved? Because whilst I'm one out, one back, and I reckon they've handled it beautifully, I'm thinking now's not a bad time. Is it getting closer?
You're talking about my tenure?
Yep.
Yeah, well, I know we've both been talking, the club and I, in similar terms around stability and then sustainability, and then the next S, the opportunity for success comes along. So I think we're stable. But again, we're stable this week, and not that you need a hell of a lot of luck, but you've got to ride your fortunes. And I think we're sort of morphing into this, I suppose, partnership again, where we're looking at sustainability and thinking, okay, out of the Peter Jackson review, how healthy are we off the field as far as our operational resources go, and the club's vision of what's ahead. And I think we're reasonably content we're on the right path. So, I mean, as far as formalising something goes, it may not be too far away.
Is the buy a good time to get to that?
Possibly. But we haven't really talked any terms and conditions.
We're all riding the timeline with Sam Darcy, sort of a bit thrillingly. Give us ballpark with him at the moment. It's 4 to 7 weeks is what the club lists it as. Where are you pegging him?
Well, it's such a sort of unique situation, to bruise and sort of dint the bone with the hyperextension, and then he had some lateral ligament damage, and then he had a little bit of medial ligament damage as well. So that was probably the sorest part of his knee. And initially, the contemplation with regards to surgery meant it was probably a longer timeline. But he hasn't had surgery, and now he ran today, and I spoke to him as he was walking around the sidelines afterwards, and he said that he's feeling good, he's not too sore, but he's lost some conditioning. He was in a brace for just over a week. So we anticipate after the bye, he's a pro, so he's really doing the work behind the scenes. After the bye, he mightn't be too far away. I couldn't give you which round, but it's promising, that we'll probably get him back a bit earlier than what we first thought.
That's an unbelievable result, given what we all thought was the case on the night.
Yeah, it is, and I suppose that mechanism of just the actual full-on hyperextension rather than a twist and has meant that obviously the ACL is intact, which is the main promising aspect of the outcome. And how rangy he is, and to see it happen, we all thought the same thing. So it's great.
Booker Karma says he's coming back through the VFL.
Very good.